What's going on YouTube? It's Bryant with the Apex Gamer channel, bringing you another video on this UFC 3 beta. This is all, once again, disclaimer, old footage from the beta when it initially ran. Some of these fights are from the very first day, some of these are from the overtime period, but you know, I sprinkle them in as I go. This particular fight that I wanted to show you kind of ties back into what Khabib did most recently. I'm Conor McGregor in this video. I'm probably going to name it something similar so you know what the deal is with Khabib, but right off the rip, Khabib shoots for a single leg takedown, doesn't get it, so you can kind of see where this Khabib player is going, and that's why I kind of said it ties into what Khabib just recently done. This is a similar performance to what Khabib pulled off. This is an attempt on that sort of game plan, and this is what we're trying to talk around. The larger topic in this video is about persevering through this madness, which is the Khabib nonstop cheeseburger pressure. So as you see, I'm in a very precarious situation very early in the fight. He's raining down blows. I'm looking to arm trap. In case you don't know, arm trap has been moved to a block button, so if you're not blocking, you can't arm trap. That's kind of a difference in this game. You can't just spam left and right on the right stick, but you can spam it if you're holding block. So it ain't much different, but it's different enough. It's different enough to where you actually have to do something different in order to get out of that position. But as you see, I did what I do best, and I reversed the situation, and now I've regained some sort of composure. I'm no longer in a real place of danger, but my stamina ain't looking so good. But I blocked a couple shots there, which, as you see, because the grapple advantage HUD was on in the quick fights in the beta, you saw I gained a little advantage enough to pull him down while I was building stamina. My stamina bar is still constantly working its way back up, which is kind of what I'm looking to do. I'm kind of looking to force him to throw punches and blow his stamina. As he does there, quick sweep to the back. Let me go ahead and kick him off. I tried to choke him. It didn't quite work. I wanted to, do to him what he was doing to me. I wanted to put him in a bad situation. You feel me? I wanted to make him feel like he did something that he should have regretted. And we ended up back in guard, and he's back to pounding on my face. So he's back to doing what I kind of want him to do. He's using stamina. As you can tell, I'm at, a little bit above what he got, and he's down the mid. And he's looking to try to keep me in this situation. And that's the thing about that strategy, is if that strategy is too aggressive in this game, you will be punished, because you get too aggressive, you just don't have enough juice to get it done. And as you see, I just burst right out from underneath him there. He denies that attempt to stand back up, but he really has no stamina. He's reached a point finally where he's kind of back in the stamina battle, but immediately starts punching because he doesn't want to lose the position, which is a real threat. But as soon as he goes for that, I hit the sweep, which is something that is very luxurious to have from that position. Hit the sweep, start putting them hands on him. I got him where he didn't want to be and where I wasn't trying to be, and then, I started putting the ground and pound on him. But that's not what I do. I'm not a grappler by trade in this game. I'm more of a grappler by necessity to get out of it. You feel me? So as soon as we get back up to the ground, we back up. There's no way I'm about to let him do this again. 10 seconds left in the round. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to let this one expire. But my whole goal, I done seen it. I done seen, the place he's trying to take me. He trying to take me somewhere I don't want to go. You feel me? He trying to take me down by the river that I don't want to be jumping into. He trying to make me jump down a 100-foot fall, and that's just not me. I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm just not jumping off of things that's too big. So I go ahead and I chop him up real quick off the slip. Obviously, he don't got his hands where they need to be because he got chopped up, wasn't blocking. Tried to throw a shot, got slipped, got them hands put on him a little bit, got touched up a little bit, which is what I do. I look to chop you up. Goes for another takedown, ain't happening. Even the referee even said it was a power double attempt. He went for a power single leg, which so he was wrong, but he went for power single. I stopped it. He tried to get in front of me and fake. Ran into an uppercut. That's where dipping gets you messed up. If you dipping with no purpose, you're gonna get chopped up, and that's kind of like what this game is like geared towards. You will get diced up if you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. So you gotta be a little bit more deliberate with your actions, especially with a better striker. And he's definitely facing, I'm not gonna say I'm cream of crop, but he facing some top corn out here. Some he might not be getting that that cream style, but he getting some cut corn, some corn on the cob, chopped him up, dropped him, and because of his style, I just had to get him out of there. There was no way I was gonna waste time trying to defend myself against that non-stop pressure assault. And that's what you got to do with these guys that are going to come into this game with that mindset that they going to just muscle you out on the ground. I'm going to talk to it in more detail once the game comes out and we can have like strategic videos of me going through the process, because I kind of went through the process here and you kind of heard what you kind of needed to hear for the situations, because I kept it clear while we were going through those situations, and the situations usually result in you having to kind of bide your time and kind of be more reliant on your stamina and more reliant on your defensive capability. You have to look for the perfect opportunity to hit transitions. You got to sneak them in. You got to kind of sneak them in under the blinder of stamina, grapple advantage. Like when you have a little bit of grapple advantage, he throws a couple shots, you block a couple, you got grapple advantage. Just kind of use that and levy that against him. This second fight is just more of an addition to the video, just because I haven't dropped the UFC 3 video since I think last Friday. Or yeah, it might be Friday, but since I haven't dropped one for you since last Friday, I felt like it was my due, like it was overdue for me to come out with some heat and come out with a multi-fight video. This particular fight is just me as Justin Poirier chopping up at Beneil Dariush. No real strategy, no real method to highlight other than the fact that I'm still very counter heavy. I pressure, but it's smart pressure. It's not ridiculous pressure. But to talk back to the larger topic of that Khabib cheeseburger pressure style, that take you down, try to lay on you because my stats are better than you type of thing. Stats are better, yes, but there are methods to that madness. There are ways to build grapple advantage off of block shots. Sometimes defending transitions on your own get you enough grapple advantage to get a transition, and you kind of got to play that game. You got to play that I got grapple advantage, I get this better position to where you can't do damage, and now you start throwing little peppering shots. As you're throwing peppering shots to blend, you're using up stamina. I'm gonna try to sneak this transition in while your stamina is low, and in most cases, as long as you time it good, as long as your timing is good, you can sneak some things in without people really having a chance to really react to it, because you kind of just snuck it in between their actions. Because once somebody kind of has it on their mind that they're doing one thing, you break that rhythm by doing something a little less conspicuous, so to speak. So basically, be patient and work your get-ups. Play the AI. That helps. Play the AI on legendary difficulty and just let Khabib take you down, and play the AI and try to get off the ground with him, because no human is going to hold you down to the same degree that the AI will. I mean, there's a chance that you might run into some top-notch, top-flight security guard of the world that's going to hold it down, lock you up in a security closet and just hold you there until you surrender. But that's like a less likely thing. As you see, I'm body snatching on him there. That's one of my favorite punches in the game. Just the appearance of it, that leaning, like when you lean off to the, I think it's lean off to the rear side. So when you lean off to the rear and throw the uppercut to the body, it kind of crashes forward. It switches sides and crashes forward. And that's how I throw my uppercut to the body in real life. 'Cause I'm southpaw. That's how I throw my uppercut to the body. I'll crash forward real deep and then put my head on the outside of your rear hand, and then throw my lead side punch with my head already on the outside of your rear hand. That's kind of how I throw that punch in real life, especially when I'm southpaw, which is not often. But sometimes I can force people against a wall, and when you force them against a wall, they square up, and it makes it super easy to get that off. So I really love the way that looks in the game, because it looks exactly like something I'm used to doing myself. So it just feels right. It's a little hard to get, because you gotta do it off the inside slip. So when you slip to the inside, then throw a body hook, a body uppercut, a rear punch, rear body uppercut, it's going to do that crash forward animation, which makes it super easy to get that lead hook to the body. The lead uppercut to the body is not as good as the lead hook to the body. So I'll duck to the inside, crash the lead uppercut, rear uppercut to the body, and then the lead hook to the body. They both look like uppercuts, but one of them's a hook. And I do that a lot. And as you see, it's got a benefit. It's a little hard to do, like I said. If you get it off of a slip, like if you actually slip a strike to the inside and the strike goes over you before you throw the uppercut to the body, you get counter damage, you get you hit his stamina hard because he was doing something when he got hit. So it's just perfect when you actually get the slip to work. But sometimes you can still use it to pressure, like when somebody's fighting like he's fighting with his back against the wall, not really trying to get off the wall, but just kind of hanging out there like he's safe. Like, this ain't Tekken, you know, I can't wall bounce him, but you still aren't really that safe with your back near the fence. It doesn't limit your mobility in the true sense of the word. Like, it doesn't really force you to not be able to do something, but it does limit your options. And as a player, that mental deficit of, okay, I can only go this amount of distance forward or back or left or right before I run into something serious, it does something to you on the defensive side, and it also says something to the offender. The offensive person knows that you can't come forward, you can't go backwards, you gotta go left or right. And as soon as they get a semblance of left or right out of you, head kicks coming, body kicks coming, leg kicks coming, something circular is coming. So the cage is a threat. It's not as big of a threat as I think it should be. Like on Undisputed, you can push people and make their back hit the cage, and they were in that back cage position, and you can use that to shut down the distance that they could possibly move. And also on Undisputed, when you were in that back cage position, you couldn't move side to side until you came off the fence. Like, you were stuck to it until you came off it. And I really like that, because it really puts you in the space of mind that cage is a threat, and if my back's against it, I am literally stuck. So I need to get my back off it, and then I can circle off it. So that was kind of one of my favorite things. I used to bully people on Undisputed 2010, because when I got him close to the cage, especially like Rashad Evans or something, he almost kicked me in the head, but I ducked. It did body damage, so it's kind of weird. But I used to bully people with Rashad Evans, because I would get them close to the fence, and then once they got close to the fence, I would start to shut them down with elbows, and then I would push them and make their back hit the fence. And when they come off the fence, I would just let them come off, and as they come off, I'd hit them with a rear elbow. So I would just kind of use that as a trick, and I do it a lot on Undisputed 3 when I'm playing as Mark Hominick. I'll push against the fence and then use his elbow, because he has a contextual elbow, contextual elbow that only fires if somebody is that close to the fence, or if you're in that close proximity. So I'll push somebody to get him to the fence and then elbow him. And then with Rashad Evans, like I'm saying on Undisputed 9 and 10, once I got that elbow, I would shoot for a double. The double pins him against the fence, because automatically when you shoot for a double in that game against the fence, you just shoot on their knees. You don't shoot for their body to try to pull them away from the fence. You shoot on their knees. So I would shoot on their knees. Most people didn't know how to defend the takedown. I would pull them up, drop them, and once I dropped them in the full guard, I would lift them up with, because on Undisputed 9, if they held your head down in the full guard posture down, you can, as wrestlers, you can pick them up and drop them on their back, and I would do damage to their stamina. And I would just do that, hit them on the ground, and then they would wall walk and get back up to the fence, scoop them back off the ground, and, you know, rinse and repeat until they had no stamina, and just constant pressure. If it wasn't the elbow pressure, it was the takedown pressure, and I just pressure people to death with Rashad Evans. That was why I loved grappling in Undisputed 9 and 10. I didn't like grappling in 3. Somebody tried to come on my video one day and talk some nonsense about how I didn't understand the grappling in Undisputed 3. Get out of here. You have no idea what I understand on Undisputed. I've been playing the Undisputed since before most of you kids who even watch YouTube videos were born. Undisputed came out in late 2008 when I was working at Circuit City, and all I did was play it in between times I worked. I worked 45 hours a week, and when I wasn't working, I was Undisputed online. I played maybe 5,000 matches on my original account. I played on another account. I trained friends. They played on accounts, played thousands of matches. So get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. You're talking to me about grappling on Undisputed, because that was my forte. That's what I did. I started with grappling because striking on 9 was trash. Because striking was trash, grappling was the real thing, and I didn't know anything about grappling. I just knew MMA from watching it, and I didn't know how to grapple at the time. So I learned how to grapple for the game, and I was real dominant. I used to pound people to death with Anderson Silva, BJ Penn, and that was my guys. Rashad Evans was my guy to pressure. Once I got better at the striking in 2010, I switched up my style. I started playing with Thiago Silva and Shogun Rua, but that was just because I liked that more aggressive, brawly style. If I wanted to keep it clean, I played with Anderson. And I usually play with Anderson at light heavyweight, which he was a little bit weaker than he was at middleweight. I always played with him at light heavyweight because I fought the John Joneses, the Rashad Evans, the Quentin Rampage Jackson. So, you know, I went off on a little tangent about somebody who came on my channel trying to talk noise about Undisputed 3 like he knew something. Like, I don't know nothing. Like I'm not who he thinks I am. Like, get out of here. Go home. But keeping it concise, keeping it to the message. The message was, in grappling, you gotta stay patient in this game because the grappling system is a little bit It's a little harder. It's a little bit more moving and fluid than it was in any other game. Like Undisputed's grappling didn't have as many things going on to make it as complicated as it was. It was pretty straightforward. If you saw a transition coming, you blocked it. If you were transition blocking, you stopped the transition. You know, if you needed to punch to move a transition, you could. You land some shots, they drop their transition block, and you can visually see the transition block animation. When it visually dropped off, you can see that he wasn't transition blocking. You can pass over, you know. So it was a little different. It was set up more mechanically how grappling is set up in real life, how grappling happens in real life. It's more physical signals and not so much like meta. But this game is more meta than signals, which is good for gameplay. It is truly rewarding because you understand the meta and you can kind of, it's not limited to like you having to see a specific animation change. It's pretty much just you have to know what points of meta you have in your favor before you do something. So to be on message, stay patient with the Habib cheeseburgers, and you'll do well in this game. Just in general, a general rule of thumb about UFC 3 from what I gathered from the beta, which I played a lot of, is that patience is not only a virtue, but it is a true method to success. Look at this Benil Dariush getting chopped up. I usually don't finish people in the TKO, but sometimes guys get on my nerves and I gotta punch them down, and that had to happen. But you know, the length of the video served the purpose I wanted to serve. You got to see a lot of gameplay, and I got to spit some real ideals to you to get you better in the game and get people a little bit more prepared for what's going to happen to them, you know, on the second. I'm not an Xbox EA access type of dude, so I will not be playing the 10 hours on the 25th. And I play so much when I play, like I turn the game on and I might be on it for 6 hours. I could waste 6 hours easy. I can waste 6 hours and not even notice it. I would have all the footage, of course, but you know, put it like this, I wouldn't get a whole bunch of content out of it for you, so I wouldn't be able to deliver anything because I would just be playing the game. So it's a little different. But let me know in the comment section how you want me to act when the game does release. Do you want me to stream on day one all my fights, or just keep doing what I do and make content to teach and improve the overall skill of players and just kind of keep it moving in that direction? Because I'm on both sides of the fence. I'll do what the people want. I go with the people's move. Y'all want to see the game in a live format with me just kind of free playing and just having a good time, then maybe I'll stream it. But if there's enough people asking for me to stream it on day one, then I'll actually do it. But otherwise, I'm just gonna keep it moving, doing how I do it. But until next time, it's been Bryant, the Apex Gaming Channel. Hope you learned something. Hope you are more prepared for that type of play style that you're gonna be facing, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna get all the people from UFC 2 that don't know nothing about the UFC grappling, the UFC 3 striking. So they're gonna go right back to the UFC 2 grappling on you. And if you just so happen to have forgotten how to grapple on UFC 2, well, you're gonna run into a bad time. So until next time, I'm Bryant, the Apex Gamer. Check you on the next video.